Williams, a team with such a grand history, has spent the last couple of years at the back of the grid fighting for the wooden spoon. But now, more than ever, it looks as if Williams could raise themselves into the midfield and become frontrunners once again. Well, what does Williams need to achieve this? Well, I'll tell you. So drop the black bars, start the music, and roll the cliche intro. So, in my opinion, there are 4 things Williams needs to nail. Then they'll become frontrunners once again. They are a good driver lineup, a good car, a team of great mechanics, and some luck. So it seems quite obvious that George Russell will leave for Mercedes at the time of writing, the Monday before the British GP. He is yet to sign. So Williams will need a star driver to fill those shoes, although that will be pretty hard as Russell has the shoes of a giant. So what driver can fill these shoes? Well, I have a list of 9 drivers that I think would accept that seat. They are Pierre Gasly, Nico Hülkenberg, Stoffel Vandoorne, Romain Grosjean, Nick De Vries, Valtteri Bottas, Alex Albon, Dan Ticktum, and Jack Aitken. We'll start from least likely to most likely. So Nico Hülkenberg just got married and is having a baby sometime this year, so I can't see him being there because of family reasons. Alex Albon, although being actually really talented, is relatively old to be in a back runner and is contracted to Red Bull. But if a deal is done between Red Bull and Williams, which is very unlikely because Williams are close to Mercedes, then Williams could gain Albon. Roman, although being talented, is also old and has commitments to IndyCar already and wouldn't come back for a back runner. I could have also put K-Mag in this list, but he's literally in the same position as Roman. Both Stoffel and Nick, although being Mercedes reserves and being very talented, Stoffel is almost 30 and Nick is almost 27, and both have commitments to Formula E as well. Jack, although being young, doesn't have enough pace to fill those shoes, in my opinion. Although he is very consistent and proved himself well in Sakir, he is still a very valid option. Dan Ticktum is in a very similar situation to Jack, but I think he has really good pace. His problem, though, is his attitude, and undoubtedly he'll be hated by at least 2/3 of F1 Twitter. Definitely a better option than Jack, though, in my opinion. So all the drivers, wait up, you haven't subscribed yet. Go click that red button and turn on notifications, and drop a like while you're at it. Make sure to follow my Twitter, which is the first link in the description. Now back to the video. So all the drivers I've talked about so far are not currently in F1, but up next I have my best 2 options for Williams who are currently racing in F1. Valtteri could be making way for George at Mercedes, so he could come full circle back to Williams to prove that he still has it and entice some midfield teams to hire his services. He has astounding pace similar to George but fails under pressure, so he'll be more at home at Williams, whereas little to no pressure. So Pierre takes the top spot on this list here because I believe he could escape the dungeons of the Red Bull driver program and build Williams around himself as they raise themselves into the higher midfield. Right now, his place in AlphaTauri looks increasingly at risk, with Red Bull riding the Yuki hype train even with his mediocre performances. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned, Latifi's seat. His seat seems actually at risk, but I think he can re-sign until 2023 and then he'll have to find a place elsewhere. So in my alternate universe, after 2020, Williams, a now midfield team, will hire Valtteri Bottas to replace Latifi and to be second driver to Gasly to form a really strong lineup. Well, pretty recently, Williams signed a technical partnership with Mercedes, so they'll provide gearboxes and some other certain parts to Williams. Along with this, Williams have had an injection of cash in the form of Darlington Capital, which will help them develop better. Williams already has some really good mechanics and especially pit crew, so their only concern there would be replacing aging crew with new, fresh feet. And with luck, that's pretty self-explanatory, as Williams will need some luck to find some breakthrough that will gain them whatever gains it grants. And it will also have to hope that Mercedes keeps up their multi-championship standards to supply Williams with that good stuff. Considering all this, it looks like Williams will have a really bright future. Well, I think that's the winning recipe for Williams, so I have nothing else to say. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you have watched all the way to the end, drop a comment saying, how about Grosjean to Mercedes? Drop a like, sub, and follow my Twitter, link in the description. And see ya.